Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of MTG Arena Run. Today we are doing another festival. This time it's the Dross Pits. Just like the past few festivals, these are all singleton events. And they all have a stipulation. This time it is the Dross Pits emblem. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that's a mouthful. That ability triggers an additional time. So we're actually going Esper for this one. There's surprisingly a good number of death triggers here, and a few ways to actually shore up some of our weaknesses by adding blue. Most shells would be white-black or black-red from what I've seen so far. But the premise is both a combination of good death triggers and ways to control the board for the most part. So Rona's Vortex will not cause a death trigger, so that's what we're aiming for. Vat of Rebirth, one of the best things to land here. Normally you would need 4 things to die. But with the trigger you only need 2 things to die, and you can get 1 back. So kind of like a 50% discount in a manner of speaking. And then we have a few other interesting ones here. But for the most part, we are also emphasizing ways to take care of our opponent's stuff. So Rite of Oblivion, very good exile effect. So nice you can do it twice. Void Rent is destroy effect, but Raffine is a way to just keep the cards going. Welcoming Vampire. Most of our cards are small enough that we will be able to get some extra card draw off the Welcoming Vampire. Let's see. And we do want a little extra card draw. We have a light draw 2 team. It's just actually 2 cards. Top Tier Mechanic just keeps growing this way, forces our opponent to eventually take it out. Gixen Puppeteer. We're mostly interested in the death trigger, but if you can get the second card trigger to come up once in a while, it's not that bad either. Now, as our board wipes are concerned, we have Meat Hook Massacre. Definitely looking at death triggers. It doesn't work. It doesn't check our opponent's creatures anymore because this is the alchemy version, but still fine. Gix's command, a decent way to also clear the usually small creatures. We also have a liaison. As much as possible, it might non-bow some of our cards, but if it takes out most of our opponent's death trigger effects, it's actually quite good for us. And we have a few other interesting stuff. Actually, we'll just go over it as we go along. But this, as you notice, this is a mostly black deck. We're kind of going along for the ride on this one. Let's see. I was able to validate this one really quickly. Though we do have to be very careful with our mana. We want to have all 3 colors, but I actually forgot 1 card. Anyway, we will keep this one because it does get a Sanguine Brushstroke. Really wish we could get the white source here. Yeah, I actually forgot 1 card. I'm gonna add it later. Forsaken Crossroads. I keep forgetting that card exists. Well, there's our white source, so problem solved. So we can go Elas Ilkor if we are not going for the Throat. Most likely, yeah, Faithful Disciple. That's actually decent. We'll go with Elas Ilkor first. We'll decide if we want to go for the Throat or Rasad, or maybe even Sanguine Brushstroke. Opponent's gonna want to swing. We're not going. We'll just take the 2. There's no reason for us to give our opponent 2 cards. Yeah, opponent is missing stuff. So knowing that, we'll go Rasad first. We'll see if our opponent has a response to this. Nope, no response. Opponent probably does have a way to get our creatures killed. We do have a Blast Zone here. Oh, opponent actually going for the 5 color. Let's see, we don't really have double blue, but we do have we do have quite a bit of double black and double white. I'm gonna take the other black source first. Also, we do want to specialize this ASAP. White blue is okay. White black is also okay here. Depending on what our opponent goes for, an undead butler. Okay, that's interesting way to do it. Yeah, we'll play the deserted beach. I'm gonna go with the white blue version here because now our opponent can get back 2 creatures. So what are the ones they get back? Czar. Okay, these 2 are not too, so I'm actually okay with swinging here. Also, there is an exile requirement here, so our opponent actually only gets 1 trigger back. These triggers are a little bit tricky actually. So there would be 2 triggers, but they can only exile once. So, and oh yeah, I just realized our opponent's running a pile. Please don't do this. Then again, the pressure's on us now. We definitely don't want to lose. Opponent will definitely be able to cast this one. No, they're going for the Phyrexian Rager, which makes sense. But yeah, lesson people, don't do the 200 plus card special. No, it's a sure sign of okay, let's actually give our opponent the benefit of the doubt. It's a sure sign of a very beginning player, so we'll leave it at that. Well, that's a lot of triggers. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually we can just end it right now. That should be it. Now, we could have ended it faster, but I actually did not pay attention to our opponent's deck. I thought that our opponent was somewhat competent. The sure sign that there was a problem was when our opponent played this land. I did see some hints of brilliance with the domain shell, but it's not an excuse to run 50 of every card and every color. That's just not how it works. Also, opponent probably realizing they're dead at this point, so it doesn't really matter what they draft here. Sorry for being mean, but I kind of have to be mean on this one because there is if you want to, because there's legitimately no way playing 200 plus cards makes you better. We will probably revisit that when they reprint Battle of Wits into Arena. Then we'll probably take a good look at that, see if that pans out. But under most normal circumstances, it does not. And you're not exactly getting paid to do it. Like, for example, like the people who run Yorion, they're running an extra 20 cards, which does hurt from time to time, but they are getting the payoff of having access to the 5-drop creature, a 4 or 5 with a very good, powerful ETB ability. It's so good that even when Companion got nerfed. Okay, so yeah, we did have the Path of Peril here as an early drop. Yeah, I'm already regretting the Blast Zone now. Actually, I'm regretting a lot of things now. But we're definitely adding the Forsaken Crossroads. I'm gonna probably cut out the Blast Zone. I did not see any good targets for it. We're gonna just play the Gixian Recycler here. We can start hitting right away. Also, we don't mind it. We should probably also play Doom Dissenter as well. Let's see if our opponent trades. No, it does not trade. Play our Doom Dissenter. Let's hope our opponent does not have a tree drop. In which case I can go for Path to Peril. Yeah, we miss out on the swing, but most likely our opponent blocks at that point. But yeah, we might have messed up our mana. This should be Forsaken Crossroads. I am hope. Skull Dweller. Okay, there is our Maybe we hold back on this. Because if I swing now, opponent might. Okay, I was gonna say that. Yeah, that was probably the most likely block. So that gives us a lot. That gives us a lot of stuff to unearth when it comes to it. Now, I probably do want to Path of Peril now. Yeah, it's a bit early, and I suspect our opponent might have a lot of cheap creatures. But I also want to test if they have a counter spell. Let's get that out of the way. Yep, get that out of the way. Opponent trying to do the toxic. This probably would have been a better idea in the previous one. Nimrazer Paladin. Gets one back. Now we could just sack the Dissenter to eat it. Likewise, we can, although there is a double check on Unearth. It exiles at the beginning of the next end step, though it doesn't really matter here. And the reason I chose Eaten Alive is because it has an exile clause, which is actually quite relevant here. We'll play the chorus, and we might as well swing with one. Opponent did hit their 5 mana. Skull Dweller, not the worst thing. If they drop something reasonably big, that's our Rasad target. Okay, no Rasad target here. If I swing with these two, it just eats these two, which is not the worst thing. Yeah, we're gonna swing first. We're gonna see if our opponent has a flash effect. I'm really curious about that one. If the okay, that's a fine trade. Then now we just play the Puppeteer. Maybe our opponent still has more counter spells. Let's get those out of the way. No, we're just cycling Sanders Lounge. Cycling Sanders Lounge. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, they played the Raffine's Tower. They cycled Sanders Lounge. Could this be another 5? Well, they do have the decency to play the right number of cards, but... Okay, Mesmerizing Dose, not the worst. Let's see what their second play is. We can still technically draw cards off this. No. And I can actually set this to X equals 3. But we're gonna go for the big hit here. Let's see, maybe our opponent does have something. Cut down. Yeah, sure, that's not the worst. It just means instead of taking them down 7, we take them down to 6. We still have... We still have things to do. Yeah, I definitely want to start putting charge counters here. Shieldred's Head Cleaver. Let's see what our opponent's last card is. They definitely have something. Can't really do anything about it. But let's go for it. Maybe I should not have played that card though. Okay, can't be helped. They did have an answer for that. So we're about... So we're gonna put 1 because it's gonna take us a while to get there. Nope, we're not attacking. No point going for that 1 point of damage. Opponent places Skrelv's Hive, but they probably hold back. Now the thing is, we can also just go for X equals 4. We can get 2 creatures back, although it's gonna be just Doom Dissenter, Crawling Chorus, which is still good enough. Let's see if our okay, maybe I don't cut out the Blast one. I think I can just cut 1 Swamp then. Opponent might as well start... Well, no, they're not going to start swinging. Also be... Yeah, we really have to be... Hey, we hit the Voldaren Bloodcaster, so... We can actually play Bloodcaster first. Let's... Crack this right now. That should take care of 2 problem cards. Well, technically one of them is ours, but we'll see what our opponent does in response. And opponent concedes. Looks, they realize I'm gonna get more stuff back. They'll have no way to, and they would have no way to block at that point. Yeah, I had fun in that match. That was pretty solid. But yeah, let's make that correction on that deck list. I think I will still keep Blast Zone. It gives us though it does mess up our colors a bit, but not too much because we know we're leaning heavy on black. We can play around it that way. So I guess we'll make that quick adjustment. So easy to forget Forsaken Crossroads. And now note that we only have 1 double white here in Liesa, so we can safely cut the plains. Ooh, nice obliterator art. Let's make that change here. Okay, well, Forsaken Crossroads making an appearance. I am willing to keep this off the back that we have... Usually I go for white. It's tempting to go for double black because we have Meathook Massacre. Yeah, let's go for double black. Well, we're going triple black. Opponent's gonna probably think we're a mono black deck. No, we're not. So I can safely play Gixian Recycler if our opponent go. I can safely play the Gixian Recycler here. Okay, opponent actually has a Flesh Taker. Now I'll note that, okay, so this is where our opponent goes for Sacrifice Synergies. Definitely want to play the Vat of Rebirth first. And I'm gonna leave this be. I think our opponent might just go for the sacrifice, gain life, 1 life, and scry. Now this does not double. This will double. And the reason I'm willing to hold this back is we have Deadly Dispute as an out for this. Oh no, opponent's actually gonna leave it behind. Well, since we might as well get all those triggers. Well, we got our 4 mana, but okay, we got our 5 mana. We can cast Liesa, but I think what I want to do is actually cast the Meathook Massacre first. Our opponent could technically save the Flesh Taker just by sacking it now. It's fine. It's not the worst. I'm kind of trying to tempt them into dropping something big so that we can... I'm trying to tempt them to drop something big so that we can Infernal Grasp it. Arvat, that is a good Infernal Grasp target. We also have a Hob... Yeah, we'll take the 2. We got the Gix's Command also. What do we get back? We can actually get these 2 back, so... And since we're not unearthing them, it's just gonna keep going back over and over again. It's a bit overkill though. I think I'll actually just play the Gixian Puppeteer first. See if our opponent actually has a kill spell. Now the concern is our opponent grows this up to a 3/3, so and I would not be able to take full advantage of Gix's Command that way. Opponent also does not have the 3 creature cards, so opponent only has 1, and this is some from your graveyard, so our opponent will need to sack this. Goes for the Eaten Alive, sacks that. Gets an exile effect, which is sad, but I can't. But now we have to But now we're gonna have to Gix's Command for. We can also just Infernal Grasp this, play a Hobbling Zombie since our opponent can't get around that. I could also do this, swing with this. It's exile at the beginning of the next end step, so if our opponent blocks it, it's fine by us. Opponent most likely just takes. So that should nuke their creature on that side. And we could still hold up Infernal Grasp, so I'm actually gonna wait it out. Opponent plays a Hobbling Zombie, sure. Now we can go Gix's Command for this. I would prefer to hit another land, but let's see what else our opponent plays. Body Launderer. From your target non-rogue creature card, which would be Flesh Taker. Oh, they could also get. Now this one is going to be awkward. I could, because if I don't draw the land, I would not be able to Gix's Command. Okay, we did. So I say we Gix's command for the. They will get lots of triggers. That's the problem. And because I need to take this out first, so that even when they get triggers, it's limited. Actually, no. The best bet is to actually just play Liesa first. And as long as our opponent that. Now this has Death Touch lifelink, so I'm not. All of these have Death Touch, so I'm not blocking any of these guys. Opponent stuck to one last card. You have their. But now, if I do this, all of these get exiled. But I am short of the 1 mana now. That said, I can't just go. I can't just go for the Throat on the Body Launder. That's the biggest problem card. Opponent is taking their time to think. I am tempted to play out my own Hobbling Zombie, but I'm holding up the Infernal Grasp for now. Somehow surviving on 4 mana. We'll take the 4. We actually have lifelink here instead. Death Touch. Opponent gets the Dockside Chef. They can still sack to draw cards. Just not gonna get the real benefit out of it. Now we play our own Hobbling Zombie. Yep, Liesa verified. Opponent's gonna cut down the Hobbling Zombie, which takes out our blocker, but I'm actually fine with that. Because we also get, well, the multiple Liesa triggers are a bit overkill. We just really only need one of them. Phyrexian Vivisector. Wow. Now I really want that 1 more mana. If we get, then opponent concedes. We never got a chance to Gix's command, but it didn't matter. Once we had Liesa locking them out of their triggers, it was demoralizing. Yeah, this episode turned out to be a lot quicker. We'll probably do 1 more game, see if we can get it all to pan out. We actually, knowing that we did not really need blue, meant that we were able to decide our Forsaken Crossroads on either black or white. That's the power of managing your splash. It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna put everything. I'm gonna hope every card lines up. You are not an anime protagonist with a second personality hidden inside. You are not the reincarnation of some pharaoh. The cards are not gonna line up like that for you every time. So you try to minimize the risk as much as possible. Okay, this one definitely keepable. If we have to, we will play Benelish Sleeper without. We will play Benelish Sleeper as 3/1. We're gonna take a bit of hurt on this one, but yeah, we're gonna play the Sleeper as a 3/1. See if it convinces our opponent to use the removal. If it does, like that, sure. I actually forgot this figure isn't set. I did not put cut down either because the opponent wants you to remove creatures. Opponent's gonna go for a basic land, so they're definitely trying to fix their drops. So knowing that, I'll start with a Doom Dissenter first. If our opponent wants to trade their Dune Mover, it's fine. If their opponent has an exile-based effect, it's fine. Well, it depends on the exile-based effect. Opponent goes hold for ransom. Okay, take a poison. Now that said, I could just wait on the Deadly Dispute, but that means I cannot play any of these cards, so we're gonna pass. Deadly Dispute still pretty solid. Benelish Sleeper, yeah. Now this doesn't have Death Touch, and our opponent might have a pump effect, so I'm actually going to double block here. So I could play Ossification, but that feels like a very weak use for it. We're going to play the Sanguine Brushstroke, take some damage. Do we want to ossify the Benelish Sleeper? Honestly, no. I'm actually more willing to eat the Benelish Sleeper alive, but we can wait on that. If our opponent wants to swing, I'm more than happy to block. That's like 4 point life swing. Boseiju reaches skyward. Okay, that is a good way to ramp. So there's our Crawling Chorus. Now I don't think we can afford to keep on waiting. Yeah, might as well put a counter here, make it a threat. We're just knowing that our opponent is playing this much ramp, that means they are about to play a big creature. So we're just waiting on it. Borrowed Time. Okay, that's not a big creature. But what does it? Exiles the token. Okay. Opponent still can't safely swing because we can't just use our Crawling Chorus instead. Now we play our Unruly Mob. We'll swing first, because why not? Opponent's now blocking. Now watch the triggers flow. And I'm so glad that they did make this adjustment here. And yeah, we hold back. Yeah, it's reach. It's a big creature. That's what our ossification's for. We can also eat alive if we have to. Cruel Grimnarch. Each opponent discards a card. We will discard Rasad. So we are going to sack a creature. Yeah, let's exile this one. Sack this. And ossification. Yeah, it's nice that we actually have some basic lands here. So we're hitting our opponent for 8, 9. Okay, opponent concedes there. We managed to clear out the board. It's very important to have a list of how do you say this? It's very important to keep the gas flowing. The few times I've lost with this deck is pretty much when the game gone long enough, I was not able to reset the board. So try not to let that happen, and things will turn out well for you. That's going to be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. After this, we have one more festival. It's going to be the complete kind of the opposite of this one. It's no longer Death Triggers. It's ETB effects. So Elish Mom is coming in. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.